Over the years, as technology has advanced, so has animation, and as most of you know, for better or for worse, CG animation has become increasingly prevalent in modern anime, sparking quite a bit of discourse throughout the community. Though why is that? Hello everyone, this is the RPG Monger, and today I want to discuss CG in anime and why everyone hates it so. When I first started seeing CG in anime, it would never be for anything too major. Usually it would just be for really large zoomed out scenes, or every now and then just to enhance regular scenes. But more than ever in modern anime, I have seen CG spread. This can be both good and bad depending on if you like CG or not, but the general consensus is negative. As with everything else, it all depends on how it's executed, so let me go over some of the more prominent anime that use CG. So let me start out with the stuff that gets the most hate, and move up to what I personally praise as the best example of using CG. So I'm sure you were all expecting me to talk about this, but Berserk 2016 and 2017 are perfect examples of what not to do with CG. In my opinion, everything needs a good balance, and Berserk 2016 and 2017 do not have that balance. Like, what the show will do is 1 second everything will be animated with normal animation, but then the next second everything's CG like the rest of the show. Like, if you're gonna make your show mostly CG, at least stick to it instead of these weird blips of normal animation. You need to have some form of consistency, and if you do end up using CG, at least make it blend in with the normal animation, and vice versa. Like, take a look at the second season of Attack on Titan, right? Yes, it may be due to a larger budget, but the CG there is absolutely spectacular. Like, in those segments showing the horses galloping across the fields, it just looks amazing. And it's in CG. I see so many people who just swear off CG due to a couple bad experiences with it. And I'll admit, I'm kind of the same with it, but there really is a way to make it work. Like, another example of what not to do, in one of the spring 2017 anime, Alice in Zoroku, in the first episode there's this quick segment with a car animated in CG, and I just have to say, why did they have to use CG? Like, it was only for that one scene too. The entire episode is just regular animation, only for that to be in there for no reason. It sticks out like a sore thumb, and honestly a lot of the time, it can just turn people off from an otherwise great anime. Though quite possibly the best example I can think of in terms of what you should absolutely aim for with CG is Ajin, an anime from last year that got pretty popular, and for good reason. Ajin is completely in CG, and believe it or not, it works out really well. You would honestly expect it to be jarring, but it's not. But you know why it's not? Once again, execution. It could have done what Berserk did with its weird 3/4 CG, but no. It stayed consistent and uses CG the entire time. If it had done what Berserk did, I can assure you, it would not have been nearly as popular, since a good portion of the people who I see try to watch Berserk 2016/2017 are immediately turned off by the animation. And if you want to see me talk about that more in depth, you should check out my recent Berserk video. But anyways, shameless plugs aside, that's not the only way you can use CG without it being terrible. A lot of the time I see anime like Berserk, but instead of being near all CG, they only use CG during fights. And granted, not all of them get to this level, but most of the time, it works out pretty well. Like, when anime uses CG for large-scale attacks, as long as they don't make it stick out too much, it usually enhances the fight. Though to answer the question you all came here for, does CG ruin anime? I don't think it does. A lot of the time, as I explained, when executed correctly, CG works out pretty well and makes grand scenes even more epic. Oh, and before I forget, a whole different way CG improves anime is none other than openings. I'm sure you all saw this coming, but as an example, the first 4 openings of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure are a perfect example of this. Like, let's be real here. In a world where a good portion of anime openings kind of meld together, aside from those special classics that come out every now and then, what better way to make your opening stand out other than CG, right? Oh, and not to forget, Ajin's opening was also in CG, which, by the way, was absolutely fantastic. There really are so many ways that CG can enhance an anime and not ruin it. In the end, I'd say the moral of all of this is execution is key. With everything, even stuff like CG where you're sure there is no redeemable factor, there will always be a way to use it correctly. Except for in live action anime movies, then CG can go fucking burn in hell for all I care. If you enjoyed this little discussion of mine and it changed your views on CG, do subscribe and tell me what other anime besides what I mentioned have either great or terrible CG. I'd love to know. But today's cool thing of the day is Ajin. Ajin is a series spanning 2 seasons that came out last year that I absolutely recommend you all go check out. Hell, it's even on Netflix, so it's even more accessible than most anime. Though that being said, I'm the RPG Monger, and don't forget that each and every one of you are fantastic.